In the last couple of years, we've seen people are demanding a safe working place. And it's not just in India, it's across the globe. In India, in 2013 is when we came out with a new law, which is specifically focused on prevention of sexual harassment at the workplace. The POSH Act applies to all establishments in India. The intent of the law is to provide a safe working environment to the women at the workplace. It applies both to private organizations and even in the organized and unorganized sector. One thing interesting about the law is currently it is protecting only women at the workplace. Male employees do not have the ability to bring up a complaint under the law. But having said that, in my experience, I've seen a lot of companies take a call to have a gender-neutral policy. The definition of sexual harassment under the Act is extremely broad. It isn't limited to scenarios where there is a power play or a quid pro quo or extreme cases like a rape or assault. It covers even small nuances, which could be someone forwarding a WhatsApp message, which is an inappropriate joke, or repeatedly asking someone out on a date. Every organization and every office in the organization that has 10 or more employees needs to have a committee. The committee needs to have a minimum of 4 members, of which you need to have a senior woman employee as the presiding officer and an external member. The Act provides a specific inquiry process which involves sharing a complaint, receiving a response. Ultimately, the intent is that the principles of natural justice are followed. There is some flexibility that employers have. You can deviate on timelines to some extent as long as the overall timeline to complete an inquiry is complied with. Under the law, there's a requirement for every organization to have a policy on prevention of sexual harassment at the workplace. They also need to do trainings and awareness programs for their employees and also train the committee members to deal with sexual harassment complaints. There are 2 conflicting provisions under the law. One which says that the employer should file a criminal complaint with the police in each and every case. And the other says that if a woman wants to file a complaint with the police, the employer should help her approach the police. And that often creates an ambiguity. Our advice to clients is that you give every woman the option when she raises a complaint. And if she chooses to file a complaint with the police, it's an obligation that you then assist her to go and approach the police and initiate the criminal proceedings. The 2 proceedings under the POSH Act and the IPC run in parallel. They are not dependent on each other, and the outcome of the 2 can also be different. The obligations the Act imposes are not something very new. They existed since 1997 because there was a Supreme Court judgment on prevention of sexual harassment at the workplace. But now there is a law which specifically focuses on that and creates obligations on employers. Employers are required to have a committee, they're required to have a policy in place and essentially ensure a safe working place.